I want to be full ADHD mode of like just side quests. I want to be Snoop Dogg level. What are you doing in the Olympics?
I think your genuine role model is Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Because the amount of times you have said Snoop Dogg. Hello, welcome back to the podcast Revolve. You're listening to me, Lewis, and Samuel. How's it going, Sam?
Hello. I'm doing well, thank you. How you doing, Lewis?
Good. This is the first time we're recording on a Tuesday, I think.
Ugh. Let's not make it a habit, though.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Let's actually not make it a habit.
It's because I'm off Galavan to get the Olympics.
Must be nice. Also, were you at the Olympics on Thursday?
This Thursday, yeah, in 2 days.
Oh, I thought it was because you were on holiday as well.
Oh,
you missed one because you're on holiday.
We did miss one because I'm on holiday, and we're missing one because
so far ahead. We was doing so well. Now we've got to do double recording.
Yeah, we're this week's episode isn't edited yet, so yeah. Not bad.
I'm usually the one that's behind, Lewis. I'm usually the one that's behind.
No, you're usually late.
Yeah, behind, late, same thing. Fuck you.
You know what I mean.
But actually, I feel like. Should we just dive in? Because
you know what?
Just dive in.
So this week, it's the promised episode. 2 episodes late. We're going to talk about quitting. Knowing when to quit, when to pivot, when to persevere. Why are you? It sounds very laughing. I feel like you've got something to say.
Because we did it again. We spoke stuff into existence.
What have you done?
We haven't quit. I haven't quit. I'm open to opportunities. Let me put it that way. But I haven't
quit trying, bro. Like that's right.
It's like I'm signing up. I put it this way. I'm burnt out, dude. I am. I saw a post on Instagram that annoyingly simplified this. It was like the millennial manager's problem.
I saw that.
Did you see something?
Yeah. Like, so explain to the people.
All right. So a millennial manager is basically the position where you've got Gen Z employees that you manage, and they want a healthy work-life balance. So you as a millennial manager who kind of understands where they're coming from, you try to support them. So you take on a bit of their work and you handle that. So then they can have a healthy life. And you as a manager see it's your responsibility to handle that. And then you got the boomers, Gen X and all them, who also work for you, who in some cases don't even know how to do it at all. Although they have like the mindset of, I'll get it done myself, they don't know how to do it. So to avoid the risk of them messing up anyway, you take on their job. And then what happens as a millennial manager is you actually end up doing more work than you should be, and then you get burnt out whilst everyone else is enjoying their time off work. That is part of my problem as to why I'm burnt out.
I feel like... Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just in the mindset where I'm just like, I can see a future of this. Remember a few episodes back I said about how you end up working to yourself to a position where you're doing more than you should be. For the promotion or pay rise you're asking for. I'm working towards that behavior myself. And I basically I noticed it. I was like, no, enough. So I messaged my manager. I was just like, yeah, we need to talk about this. I'm not doing this. You need to tell me how I'm going to get that promotion. I put everything I said in every episode into action. Either tell me how I'm going to get that opportunity or point me in the right direction where I can get that opportunity outside this team. What I'm not going to do is sit here, burn myself up for hopes and dreams. For you to maybe give me something. That's not happening. That's the old me. I'm not doing that again. But yeah, it's been a hard one.
I feel like that's not just millennial managers. I think that's just millennial employees in general.
Generally.
It's quite interesting as well, because I was thinking about this on my way home from work today, and there's 2 sort of schools of thought when it comes to dealing with shit. Particularly in a work environment, you've got the sort of like old school discipline school, which is like, just suck it up and get on with it. People are dickheads and, you just got to fight through and, just take it on the chin. And then you've got the new school of thought, which is aligned to the Gen Z thought, which is, don't stress yourself, don't burn yourself out, like know your self-worth and, save your mental health. And I'm like, I sway between like, nah, this shit is not on, and I've got to like save my mental health. But then I also have you just got to affirm it and see what can happen. So, and it's like the HR department is on one side and quitting is the other, but at the same time, if you're in a really shit place and want to go to like go for promotions and stuff like that, I'm in the place now where it's like, do I say to HR like shit's going badly and like save my mental health? But if I do that, I'm burning all bridges of getting a promotion. I know that, you know, technically, you know, oh no, go to HR doesn't affect your prospects, but I know I'll be burning a bridge if I do that.
I'm telling you, so right now they're not your team.
So
it's not your friend.
It's a weird, yeah, because HR's to protect the company.
Yeah, exactly. You're just snitching on yourself sometimes.
So it's like I'm in between a rock and a hard place of like, I'm basically just stuck in all directions because like I can't complain about it because no one gives a shit, and that's like you face that reality really early on, or you just gotta firm it. But then by you firming it, you're taking on even more stress and risking burning yourself out.
Yeah.
So this is when maybe I should just quit, but then the job market is shit. So it's like there's just dead ends on like all corners. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. So
it's literally that is basically like the UK job market is a joke. But you know what I keep thinking as well, and it's like I when I get into situations like this, I start like looking for opportunities just to get myself out. I start looking for short-term solutions rather than do what I'd probably tell someone else to do, which is look at it from a long-term perspective. Wherever you want to jump into next, how does that help you in the long term? That's something I failed to do a few times, and then I feel really uncomfortable. I go into the new experience and I feel like an imposter because I feel like I have to force myself to be invested, and I'm like, oh, what would someone who's really invested in this opportunity do? And then I start burning, and then we're back to where we started again, and then I'm pissed off. I'm doing a job I don't like, blah blah. So this time I'm basically just looking for like things that really fit my goals, my values. But then there's the other aspect that I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I want to own my own business one day. And a part of me is just like, why am I not just committing to that journey? And I think the current experience I have, I don't even have time to do my coursework. Like as soon as I finish work, my brain is frazzled because I just handle so much nonsense. It's either like nonsense emails, nonsense calls, or just nonsense people I know who are just present still, who are just there in the background in my head. I can just imagine what they're saying and I'm just like, shut up. Like, it's just, I'm so burnt out by the end of the day that I'm just kind of sat there like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. And it's just making me less productive. So I'm now giving away. And like, it's hard, when you articulate it to someone you work for or work with who only does that job, their perspective is, oh, like sometimes we expect you to give someone your free time. I don't have free time. That extra time is way more valuable to me than what I do during 9 to 5. I commit to what I'm doing between 9 to 5 because at the moment it's something I said I would do and it pays my bills. But I promise you, like the stuff I do in terms of like building my business, in terms of doing my PhD, the value of that to me is more than 10 times what my job is. But that doesn't pay as well as what my job. If you get what I mean, like the intrinsic value of what I do is way more. So when they have the audacity to be like, oh, we're going to expect you to choose a free time, I'm like, you not watching Love Island tonight does not compare to the business I've got to go run when this day's over for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same free time, but it's hard to articulate that to someone who doesn't have to care. Because technically, from their perspective, it's free time. It's time outside work. From your perspective, it's worth more. They don't have to care about your time outside work. They can ask you to use your time outside work. They can stipulate it in your contract, but they don't have to give a damn about what else is occurring in your family life. So yeah, that's the kind of position I'm in of like, I'm just assessing all of that, and I'm just like, all right, well, if I was to quit or if I was to move on, what would be the best thing to do essentially? Where should I plant my feet first? And in this environment of like applying for opportunities or this environment, currently, the current sensitivity in the work market in the UK alone with all the racism,
oh, bro,
with literal lynch mobs, like the fact that I'm already an anxious person, and a part of my frame of thought is, okay, what do I do in this situation with my car? What do I do in that situation? So I'm like, that's always something I'm processing whilst I'm driving.
It's mad that I genuinely have to think about this when I go to work.
Isn't it?
Like, and the thing is, it's like, again, and companies just don't say shit about it. which is mad. Like, I don't know how it has been for you, but like whenever things happen across the world,
Yeah.
bear in mind I work for, I think, the biggest media corporation in the world.
Oh, they won't say nothing.
They don't say anything.
They won't say. They tend not to say anything.
I'll say something off camera, and I'll cut this out. Now we're back into the normal part, and I cut it out, and you can see Sam's face. But it's fucked up, isn't it?
It's worse than my situation.
But it's typical. But
It's worse.
the companies just don't say a lot. And yeah, if it's just mad that I have to consider, oh, should I go into work today, or is there a chance that I might get attacked? So,
like, for me, it's like
nuts.
a part of me is sometimes I'm just like, I've had such a bad day that I just seek violence. Sometimes I'm just like, I wish someone would. I wish someone would today. Just take it from me, Jesus. Touch me. Obviously, I'm joking.
It's actually like, you know what? It's a genuine thing though, because I even had the glimpse of this on the way home today, just because like I was at my wit's end, and like someone like barged into me, and I literally like, I just went like, when you have to deep breathe, but otherwise you might just explode on like just some innocent person who's in a rush to like do their thing. It's just like, honestly, it's like the worst. I see myself turning into like a bitter person, and I'm trying my best to like.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
But yeah,
do you know what I've realized? I've realized one of two things. When the Black Lives Matter movement happened, we as people of color at work finally felt empowered to talk about our pain without seeming like we're overreacting, or without seeming like we're making a big deal, or without seeming like, oh, you can't take a joke. We were forced into a position where our companies basically asked us, are you okay? And we're finally like, nah, brother, no, we're not okay. We've never been okay. Like, the fact that we waited this long for you to check in on us, like, these people were running racial banter. They've been running all sorts, and we can't even complain because half of the time HR people are giggling in the background. Like, we can't do nothing about this. And then like that time and that opportunity felt like, okay, but what I felt like it really was just like a box ticking exercise by a lot of companies, because what they realized was enough people were raising concerns on social media for them to think there was a marketing opportunity for them to look like the good guys.
Yep.
And then one thing that my research has taught me, one thing that a lot of companies have probably learned is it's not a marketable experience with the new generation in terms of converting that into money. You can't convert. People by nature naturally only care about problems that they're likely to face themselves. They can empathize with someone else's problem, or sympathize. Sorry, what my research showed me is that people can sympathize with someone else's problem. The core aspect that's needed for them to turn into a transactional value, they need to either see it as a way of, they need to sense it as a threat to themselves, or they need to see it as a way for them to paint a better picture about themselves. So what that would align with is like, in a lot of the Black Lives Matter movement, everyone was putting the black squares up in all of these. It's almost like showing that, hey, I'm a good guy. And no, I'm not saying that everyone was like virtue signaling, but it effectively was, right? It was like, yeah, I'm amazing. And it's like, all right, do you want to donate? No. Like, do you want to give £5 a month from your work? No. Okay. But you got to put a black square up. Yeah. Because intrinsically, we want to look good to our peers because it's part of the tribal mindset. It makes us fit in, right? And then companies see people's outward behavior, people's way of displaying themselves as a way to align with that, as a way to build brand acquisition, and then also improve brand affinity to say that, hey, that core value of yours, we align with it. The thing is, it's not a core value. It's just a value for the people that display it. So what companies realized was like, oh, we've done all of these, like, we changed our logo. We've done all of this stuff and sales hasn't really changed or gone up. And it's because people don't care deeply enough to be triggered in most cases to want to do something. And the ones that do, it's very small, it's very few and far. And if there's a free way for them to achieve the same goal, they would. Like, people say they love animals, but that ain't going to stop them going to Tibet and stroking a tranquilized tiger to take pictures of it. They'll still do that because it makes them look good, right? So it's that kind of mindset. And I think this new round of summer racism, which is becoming a common thing now. Every 2 years or so, we go through a bout of summer racism where
that's actually true. Yeah.
So this new round of summer racism, where the weather's nice and people need to complain, it's unfortunately come off the back of people learning that, oh, we didn't actually have to do much last time, so we're not going to do much this time either. Like, we did too much last time, we didn't get much profit from it. So this time companies are going quiet, and I think they will go quiet until we kick off another Black Square event, until we do another event where someone in marketing will be like, oh, hold on a minute, we just align to that. And you say your point, because I have one more to round it up.
No, just to add on to that as well. It's like, I don't know if you've noticed, but I think Malaysia, Brazil, I can't remember if it's Brazil, but other countries, including China, are basically, we're on like we're basically like, there's like a warning to like come to the UK. So tourism is going to absolutely plummet.
It's gone to
bear in mind, it's school, summer holiday started 2 weeks ago, right? And people go, oh yeah, I might go a trip to Europe. And actually it's like, it's like, have you seen Family Guy when they do the skit, when they pull up Peter, then they have like the colour chart? Like, bear in mind, that actually happened in Manchester 2 days ago. Like, they'll keep in control of traffic and let you through if you were white or not.
It's like, it's finally come to head. People have been saying that this is building up, and it's funny, but you know what's happened? It's got to the tipping point, and there's just silence from anyone that can do anything about it. There's just pure silence. And in fact, I would say it doesn't help that there's so many bot accounts, and there's so many obvious bot accounts on social media that if you go in the comment section, and if you go like on the news post about it, you go in the comment section, there are so many accounts that have done nothing else in their existence other than that one comment. That just makes it looks like, oh yeah, they'll be like, oh, well, they attacked the little girls first, or they did this first. Then it's like, oh, why don't you go look at this right that the Islamists did and that in this part of England, all this stuff. And like, if people interact with those accounts, you never see a response from the actual post of the account, or you see one or two that follow through, but you see more responses from like the silent majority, people that just sat there quietly waiting for something else to basically emphasize a little thought inside them. And then there'll be like a comment war on that. But anyway, back to work related.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I know just the last thing.
It's just frustrating. It does have an impact.
It's a weird thing because it's like when you're already dealing with shit, which everyone is always dealing with shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is an additional layer, but it's like it literally. I've barely been on my phone in the past.
We avoid it
because it's just like I understand things are going on. It's good to be aware. But it's like in COVID where you just go on the news and you just saw everything going on. Obviously, different issue entirely. But it's just depressing. Like, go on LinkedIn, talk about LinkedIn. It's just depressing.
It's just a bit much.
It's just everywhere. And it's like, you know what?
People
like, the phone is the worst enemy. But
it's the new flavor. It's the new flavor of the year, right? It's the flavor of the month of topic to talk about. And I think people forget that as people of color, we've had to like live little microaggressions of this pretty much most of our life. Remember I was talking in the previous episode about interaction costs. It's the same thing of like, it's little cuts, and eventually you get used to it, but it just something grates in the back of your mind, and it's just little cuts, and enough becomes enough. So then when you start seeing it all over the news, it's like, it's been happening to us for so long, we've been so aware of it, and nothing's been done about it. But now you're just shining it in our face, and it's almost like we're being mocked about it. Like, haha, this is happening. Of course they're not laughing about it, but it's like in your face. I'm like, if the next thing I see isn't a solution, I swear to God, I'll lose my head. Like, fix it or stop telling me about it.
Yeah.
Like, stop making it a bit tough. Yeah. But I would say that one part when it comes to, obviously, talk about quitting today, Lewis. One thing that comes to mind is companies seem to go through this like peak and troughs of if they have more than enough people to do their BAU work, that's when they have capacity to do internal diversity conversations. And they have, as if they're going through rounds of redundancies and they're basically working on skeleton crew, it's no longer a business priority to talk about these things. And right now in the UK, there's a lot of companies that are letting go of more people than they're hiring in. So a lot of companies are on skeleton crew. So there are people of color at work right now who aren't getting the level of support they would have had 2 years ago, because there generally isn't enough resource or enough focus from the company to give a damn. There simply isn't. And it's all that, and there's people in that company as well who are willing to be like, oh, actually, there's better things to talk about. Because the majority of them are white. It's not a problem for them. Like I said before.
It's true, man.
The problem isn't close enough to home for it to warrant a conversation.
It's true. And I've always said this, is like, and it's a comfortable truth. It's like, people aren't gonna get behind you unless you piss off enough white people to give a shit about it.
Exactly. That's when all
Which is true. Like things always matter when you know you need to piss off enough white people to back you, and this is the same for any cause in terms of Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ community. Like, you know, you gotta the masses have got to give a shit, and
basically,
you know that's why, and that's the things like, you know, when it comes to like Pride Month, things like that, like it's all part of the company. They say it's part of the company culture, but it's for the company. Like at the end of the day, like they wouldn't do anything unless it was in it for them. So yeah, to circle back to like make a full picture, and then we'll move on because I'm got a bit.
No, I'll make it full picture.
But
I think you do.
But it's true. Like companies are going to you know, utilize these things as a you know, for the business, whether or not it's transparent or not. I think companies are better at actually aligning it to their values than others. But if you get like,
it's genuine,
you know,
it's seen as so. What I saw in my research was behaviors like this by companies is seen as genuine if they can correctly align it to their value in terms of what they do as a core business. Let's say you're a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're selling bicycles for Black Lives Matter. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you sell clothes.
Yeah, like if
clothes around the topic.
like if Kellogg's are getting behind BLM, we'll be like, what are you
doing? You make
just
cornflakes,
be serious.
like just be serious. You do you.
Just be
but
cornflakes, bro. Like,
if a company has, before the problem became a problem, if the company has a historical behavior of supporting that movement, they get better traction when the problem arises.
Absolutely.
So if rather than companies waiting for there to be a problem like this and then saying it, you need to consistently
be behind
that movement. So it becomes public knowledge that your business does this. So when you actually promote it, it doesn't seem disingenuous to the new generation that you're doing this. You're not doing this just for clicks, basically.
The main thing that this is a thing that I know, like Pride Month is great, but at the same time, it's like you don't see companies doing things for Pride or for BLM the entirety of their financial fiscal year. But then like you'll have like Apple or even at Westfield, right? The stairs to Westfield, they do the flag on the stairs and then just never again. And it's like it's just really disingenuous. And it's great to support these causes, don't get me wrong, and don't want to piss off people about this. But you just got to be authentic about it.
Exactly.
And obviously people will support these things, but then the point is they're only vocal when it fits them, which is completely it's like completely defeats the purpose of it. You're supposed to be loud about it when these things occur, not just when it's a marketing opportunity.
The worst part is like when you feel like you've not got any support for these types of things where you work, and I get it. In most cases, it's like, well, you're there to do a job, blah blah. A part of enjoying your job is feeling like you belong and feel like especially when you work in a team often, or when you work in a company that expects you to collaborate with others. If your job is just being a doer, like you're a customer service person, you're just handling that all the time. Even at that level, you deserve some support. But okay, it's understandable to be like, all you have to do is go in, answer questions, and leave, right? But if your job is like developing things, if your job is like having creative thought, is being constantly forced into rooms where you have to communicate with people and your team and all these things, there's a tribal mentality that comes with that job. So you need to feel like you belong. It's not a part-time job. You're not a freelancer. You need to feel like you belong there. And that plays a key role in the value you have for yourself in the company and the motivation to want to do stuff. Because sometimes you stay in jobs because you like the people more than you like the job. And that plays a part.
Absolutely.
So people seem to forget that that's why it's important for people of color and people from different racial backgrounds in general, people who represent or feel like who feel like different genders represent them, wherever it is. Absolutely. There's a need to feel accepted and that you belong and understood.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, right now, there's a massive highlight by the amount of silence and the lack of care by like our co-workers and stuff that this really isn't top of mind for them. It's just another average day in the office. And then it becomes your job as a person of color to ask for their help. And it's almost like you feel like you're creating a problem because no one else sees it as an issue. So and then you feel like, if anything, if you brought it up in a conversation, you're making it awkward for everyone. Why have you killed the mood for everyone?
Oh, it's not really work talk, is it?
You're talking about racism. But if someone fell off the bike that morning, half the meeting's gone. We've talked about traffic problems. We'll talk about how messy the pavement and the road is. You talk about how you basically called N-word on the streets on the way to work. Oh, that's horrible. That is. That's really horrible. Next.
It's like, anyway.
I have nothing to add to that. I'm really sorry, dude.
But the thing is, like, it's just to bring it home. I know we said this 4 minutes ago, but it's like it's really easy for companies to actually just do this. Like when these things come up, like History Month, Pride Month, whatever month it is, International Women's Day, illustrate how you're doing these things every single day. So, okay, this year we've made an effort to interview this amount, or we've hired this amount from these different areas, be that from women, from LGBTQ plus community, from different ethnic groups. Like, illustrate what you're actually doing as a company and how you're progressively getting better in terms of like equal pay, things like that. Just show the proof. You don't have to change your logo to all black or put a rainbow flag anywhere. It's really, really simple to do. Just show the evidence. Just show the evidence of what you're doing.
Don't say you're good. Don't say you're amazing. Just do it. Actually do it.
Show it. Don't tell.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Just
like.
But yeah, and I think when it comes to core, I think this general environment just makes me feel like, when you apply for a job and they ask you for the diversity quota, what race and stuff you are. Have you ever seen a job application off recent? And a lot of them will be like, just for like our understanding and
just for our understanding.
Yeah, like we want to. I'm just like, I'll find out when I get the job. Find out when I get the job.
You know what the most bizarre interview question I got for my current job?
What's that?
Bear in mind, this was a question by a white male.
Yeah.
He asked me, what will I do to help to support like diversity in the company? And like, what are you going to do and how do you engage in diversifying, company? And I was like,
I will ask a question off the back of this.
I was like, okay. Well, to be fair, I did have a question for him because I don't know if you know this because I haven't this year, but the past like 4 years, I've been doing the Black Leadership for Trent. So I've been mentoring students. So I've been mentoring like business and media students and stuff like that. Like going through their CV and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I said to him. But I was just like, I've never been asked this question before, and it was just like, I just found it an interesting question because I'd never had that interview.
I'll put it this way. I will say, in terms of rules around interviews, if they have to have fixed topics in an interview, and where possible, everyone gets asked the same question. So one thing that might be worth checking is, did even the white folks get asked that question?
Yeah,
it might have been forced out. But I feel like
you could have just skipped that one.
Yeah, it could have. I feel like this is another thing that leads to work becoming too much and sometimes wanting to quit. And it does fit within the topic of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's when things like this happen, companies make it your job as a person of color to find a solution for them. Like they'll corral all of us into a room, maybe have some sweets in the middle. It's never pizza. We never have a pizza day for these types of topics. Everything else gets pizza day.
Do they like pizza?
Literally, it's like, I wanted to get KFC, but I do want to be racist.
Oh, bro! My brother, when he was at Google, I think they had a Black History Month thing in Dublin.
You told me about this.
The rice and peas, rice and actual green peas.
Oh,
I could not believe this. This is the company that has the world's information in a matter of milliseconds.
No,
they couldn't Google what rice and peas was.
Sometimes it feels like you're getting trolled. Sometimes it genuinely feels like someone's standing like, give him green
that's
peas.
That's a macroaggression if I see one. Like someone definitely was like, someone definitely saw that. I was like, yeah, it's definitely green peas.
But like, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's like what is it? It's like a minority task at work. Like people who are part of a majority culture or race in a company, regardless of where you are in the world, you are basically like an exotic creature in most cases, right? Even if your race or culture has played a massive pivotal role in the development of the bloody country you live in, that you count yourself as a citizen of, if the general consensus is you have to meet a certain skin tone or criteria to be seen as a native, you are seen as an exotic creature if you don't meet that criteria. They don't care if your race has been here for thousands of years. If you don't meet, for example, the general British view, it's quite clear right now that the general British view is you have to be white to be British. In most people's eyes, you have to be. Well, I don't know if most, but in a lot of people's eyes,
I would say it's quite an oxymoronic term, but I'd say quite a loud. I was going to say large minority, but it's a loud minority.
It's a loud minority. Yeah, it's a loud minority. That you have
very, very loud minority.
Having the British citizenship isn't enough. Paying way more taxes than some of them ever do isn't seen as British enough.
Yeah,
like donating more than some of them ever do.
Yeah,
isn't seen as British enough. So
having more GCSEs than the amount of teeth they have isn't enough. Yeah,
having more degrees than they have.
You genuinely have more degrees than some of them teeth, which is actually bad.
It's actually jarring. And they'll still sit there like, well, I mean, I don't know what you contribute to this country. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, it's like yes, Dr. Ahmed definitely stole your job. Dave when they came school at 15 with 2 GCSEs. He definitely stole your job.
So yeah, you were definitely going to. Oh, mate, you were definitely going to be chief of surgery. Yeah, that was you. That Dave, go back to mopping the floor. You're pissing me off.
Oh God, I'm sweating.
It's like there's a tax of as part of your day to day, you're also representative of your culture, right? Because everyone seems to have a general understanding of, oh well, we're the normies, right? If a white person does something, it's like, oh, they're just one person was crazy. It's not representative of all white people. One person was crazy.
It's true.
If a woman at work raises her voice, what are you being aggressive for? If a person of color at work says something, it's like, whoa, like we didn't mean it that way. Like, whoa, and it's like, but if you said it, if they said it, it's like, oh no,
they're just passionate. No, dude, it's like the same thing. Like, if you compare the coverage when male tennis players bash tennis rackets out of anger, and do you remember how they mocked Serena Williams when she did the exact same thing? And people were like, oh, like it's just...
It's like, so basically, if you're seen as like, not what... If you're seen as, you know, what the norm should be for whatever space you're in, it does, you do feel like your behavior is heavily monitored, and it adds an extra pressure onto the most basic of tasks that other people don't seem to factor in when they judge your performance. So when they judge your performance, they don't factor in the fact that you are in your head are feeling like you've got added pressure representing your whole race. They see it's like, oh no, you just do your job, right? But in some cases, unconscious bias coming up here. They also don't factor in the possibility that some of their emotional responses, not just like their process, but like the quick responses that they have to check themselves, they don't seem to notice that some of it might be based on a generalized view, based on what the news has told them, or based on like a view that they've developed through like their adolescence or whatever it is, through their own experiences. They don't seem to recognize that. They don't seem to recognize the little fear in the back of their head that this guy's black and bigger than me. Or do I want to always have him in a room with me? Or do I want to tell him off in case he hits me? Like they don't seem to like recognize that these all play a part into their decision making, as well as it plays a part into why I come across as a really nice guy, because I have to come across as I don't feel like it anymore, but my whole behavior has been shaped by a lifetime of having to come across as one of the good ones. So now I'm in positions at work where like, Sam, like, don't let them say that to you. Sam, you need to like put your foot down more. I put my foot down and people are like, oh my God, he was so mean to me. Oh my God, he was shouting at me. And I'm like, what do you want from me?
It's true, dude. Yeah.
So
it's the thing. It's the same thing. It's like, I think
it just makes life at work extra hard. And Lewis, it's been consistent everywhere. Where no company can like look at this pod. No one I've worked with can watch this pod and say, oh, like, I'm sure you didn't go through that when we worked together. I went through that when we worked together. Yeah. I've worked through that everywhere I've worked. You're not special. You're not one of the best people. No, I've gone through that everywhere I've worked. I've just done a bloody good job of keeping it quiet and not jumping in political discussions because I'm outnumbered in most cases.
Yeah, that's true. Don't even... I just code switch and just popped into my head. That's a whole episode, that is.
Bro, we need to.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to write that down.
I do with my next door neighbor. Like, literally, we'll have neighbors come walk past us and we switch from African accent to English.
Oh, bro, it's true. Right. But no, one thing I did want to touch on as well, because I mentioned it in early episodes, it's like, I knew that, like, in school, I was pretty much, like, one of the only black people, and I particularly was, it's not even arrogant because it was true. I was like high performing
Yeah.
black student. So, and the thing is, I very much knew that, I was pretty much for most white people who I went to school with, I was pretty much the only interaction or speaking with black people till they were 18. So I knew that people would base stereotypes based off my behavior. So, if someone did shove me or like take the piss in school, like I just can't go and punch them in the face as much as I'd want to. But it's just because I know it's not about what happens, it's what it looks like. So someone could hard arm me in the street and I'd beat them within an inch of their life, and people would be like, oh, this black guy's attacking this innocent white weak man. And it's like, you have no idea what's just happened.
But I got seen as like the crazy one in school because of that. Like, because they got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to say no to fights. I'm fully just putting hands on people now.
So like, even if they were to start fighting me, but you finish the fight, it depends on how it's looked. It depends on how it's recorded, because all will be recorded is me, clean skin and someone with a nosebleed. So yeah, I know that, dude.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Bruises show on you.
But anyway, dude, we're gonna hard pivot because we've had a bit. It's been discussion though. It's really good discussion.
You know what?
It's off my chest.
I hope that people of color and allies can take this, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable discussions at work. We're going through that period where the problem is occurring, and then there's going to be a pivot in the media of why Britain's racist or not racist. Then there's going to be companies and HR teams will be watching the news. They probably already started writing the notes of things they need to do. And then as things calm down and stabilize in the country, or over the next few weeks or months, I'm going to say, you're going to recognize companies slowly pivoting towards like supporting internal staff and everything. Fortunately, it's a fact of life at the moment that will be short-lived. I would say embrace that support as much as you can. If they give you time off work, take
milk
it. Milk it, because what I'm saying is like we need to validate the value of that support, so in the future it's more consistent. We need to validate the value and then respond with why we need it more. Do not, for the love of God, if you get pulled into a room to voice your concerns, take the opportunity to do it. Because some leadership in companies generally think everything's perfect and rosy because they've not heard it. And sometimes I've been in the room where they've asked, oh, is everything okay? Like, how can we help during Black Lives Matter? And we've gone, forget about Black Lives Matter. There's stuff going on in your company that you need to fix now. Like, forget about what is about there. There's a long list. Like, we gave like an Excel page with like about 200 rows of complaints across 5 people. And they were just like, oh, we're gonna take this away from you guys and let HR look at this. Like, this can't, don't worry about it. Like, so take the opportunity, complain, because like we're saying about quitting, if not, you do end up in an environment where you're having to pay a higher tax when it comes to work than everyone else. You end up in an environment where you don't enjoy your job, where you're not getting the support you need. So if they're going to ask you if there's a problem, take the time to tell them there's a problem. Finally, for the love of God, do not get put in a position where you have to do your day job and solve the problem for them. Right? You voiced your concerns, and it's easy how to solve the concerns. They know how to get people of different ages and sizes to work for them. There's whole employment companies based around hiring people from different cultures and backgrounds. They know who to talk to. Don't let them cheap out by offloading that work to you.
I want to add on to this as well, in terms of like, I want to add on to that in terms of what that would look like. That doesn't mean becoming the token minority who's going to host, drinks every month to talk about race. Yeah.
You're not the one that's bringing jollof rice in every time they do it.
Please, for the love of God,
you're not that person.
Don't do that shit, because you're just going to be a poster boy. You're gonna be then next. You're going to be on the company site with a laptop, looking all happy at work, and you're staying on the company for the next 20 years, and you're wearing a poncho or some dumb shit.
Exactly.
Like, it's gonna be.
Don't be that
guy.
We're fighting for freedom, so we fought for freedom. Our ancestors have fought for freedom. Many people have fought for freedom, so you can be who you want to be. Be that person. Do you want to braid your hair for work? Braid your hair for work. You want to wear a do-rag? Wear a do-rag. Like, it's do you. Don't feel forced to play a character just to fulfill a narrative.
Absolutely.
And I think that if I knew that earlier, I definitely wouldn't have jumped different jobs as much as I have. It has played a part in getting the bag up, getting the pee up, It's natural. It's natural to jump from job and wait for the promotions to come to you. That is a natural way of life. it definitely has helped. But a part of my frustration has been I don't feel like me being a nice person and me bending backwards with people is helping me. I don't feel like me letting certain things run is helping me. And all these frustrations add up. And unfortunately, being a person of color, there's extra tokens of frustration out there for you to go and catch. And you just have to firm it. Back on, well, not back on. Let's say some more about actually in general quitting.
So one thing which I definitely have taken into consideration is I don't know if you've ever seen this before. It's Stephen Bartlett's quitting framework. Have you seen it?
No.
So I'm going to share my screen. I don't know if this will pop up on the thing.
Shows,
but
should do that more though.
I'm gonna see entire screen. This screen. So this quitting framework. If you type in Stephen Bartlett's quitting framework on Google, you can see it for yourself.
I'm gonna do that. Carry on, Lewis.
So
as you were saying.
So this basically this quitting framework is basically, cut a long story short, it goes at the top. So are you thinking about quitting? Yes. And it goes, why? It's like, is it hard? Then yes or no. So, but is the challenge worth the reward? And this is basically the framework. So is it worth putting in all the shit for the potential reward at the end of it? And another part of it is, are you thinking about quitting? Yes. Why am I thinking of quitting? Because it sucks. It's like, do you believe you can make it not suck? The answer is no, quit. Or if yes, you can make it not suck, is the effort to make it not suck worth it? And this is a very good framework that I have loaded into the prefrontal cortex in terms of how much effort I'm going to make. Oh, you got it on the screen, didn't you? It didn't work for me. I swear to God. So
because you click presenting instead of share screen.
No, I put share screen.
Oh, your computer just
it doesn't work. It's fine. It's fine. Well, it's on the screen now. Hopefully they can see it. But
I want to see how it edits out.
But no, this is a very good framework, and I think I would add something onto that, which I think is missing, which is there something else that you could do instead, which is worth more your time, which is a pivot. Right. It was a nice way of basically pivoting. And this is kind of my decision to kind of start editing, thinking about doing the pod and things like that. And I think it links back to how your actions basically reinforce your identity and how you feel about yourself. Because I've said it in many podcasts before, like when I was just doing my job, which I don't like, I then don't like me because I am my job 5 days out of 7. But when I decide to do editing, when I decide to go to the gym, when I decide to eat healthier, you're reinforcing you are who you want to be, as opposed to, the whole just be happy. And, when you actually have concrete evidence that you are who you say you are, that's where pivoting really helps and like moving the needle towards those things that you want to do. Like today, for example, because I had a shit day at work, which is most days at work. And I wanted to go home and I wanted to deliver really unhealthy fried food to make me feel bad because I thought I deserved it. But then I went, no. And then I grilled salmon and veg instead. And I was like, I'm very glad I did that because I was at a really weak moment. Like it was in the basket in Deliveroo. But the thing is, I know I would eat that in 5 hours time. I'd be like, oh, damn, I've got to work really hard in the gym to burn it off tomorrow. So I noticed a moment of weakness and decided, nah, I'm not that person. I'm air frying salmon and having broccoli instead of, that wrap.
Bro,
this is how I gained 2 stone at Spotify because I was just beyond depressed.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. I know we talk about quitting about when it comes to work and stuff, and really there's other things you quit. There's other things you give up on. This is more of an episode about quitting, about work, yes, but I think the general high level view is it's giving up on something. You know about how I've been in my Thai boxing bag, right? I've been back on training.
Yep.
May get in there, and voice break. And yesterday was probably the hardest session I've ever had because I've been training almost back to back. So every other day I've been in training. And then Friday and Saturday I'm also training. So that one is an official back-to-back. Friday is hard sparring. Saturday is also training but sparring. Yesterday, all we did was sparring, which is weird because on Monday we usually work on technique and stuff, but we did sparring and fitness. So I'm not going to lie, I nearly got knocked out. I nearly got flogged. And I didn't let it show, but I started seeing stars. And I was just like, this feels wrong. This doesn't happen to me. Even at my big size, even with my lack of fitness, I don't get dropped like this. And I got so annoyed with myself because I gave up in the ring. Like, whilst I'm literally, all I did was, I just shelled up. I just shelled up like this and just got mullered. And because it was like a boxing only round. And what I screwed up with, I know I'm being a little bitch by moaning about this, but we got given, because my coach got me to practice elbow sparring. So like full tie sparring essentially, and elbows to the head and everything. And it turns out that's what I'm actually really good at. There's different formats. You get Thai boxing where it's like C-class and stuff without elbows to the head, and you get with elbows. And it turns out I'm really good at with elbows. Like my whole like body language, everything changes. So we've been doing elbows for the past few days, and then yesterday we went back to just normal boxing. And the guy that I've been mullering with elbows, he got his way with me. He just had me. He just treated Lewis. He hit me once in the face. So I was like, cover, it's calm. That's easy. Another time, it's calm. Then he punched me in the stomach. How he stuck that in, I don't know. As soon as he did that, it was over. Like, my whole body just went, protect. And like, I couldn't find the energy to punch back. When I did punch back, it was like I couldn't. And I could tell, like,
was it a liver? Was it a gut? Was it a liver?
It was gut shot, but the thing is, it didn't hurt. Like, I've got a really strong core. Like, I can handle a lot of gut shots. So that's fine. It wasn't that. It was like, mentally, I checked out and I couldn't. And it was the most heartbreaking thing where, like, you can do it. You know how to do it. Your body, it feels like you're dreaming and trying to run it. You're trying to run in your dream.
Yeah.
Where it felt like that, and it was horrible. Like, I was so angry with myself. And the emotions just took over, my whole body shut down. And because I had like the elbow pads still on, because I was hoping to do elbow sparring that day, and the coach switched it to boxing last minute, it was cutting off the blood circulation to my arm, because the old pad had like... So I was trying to hold my guard up like this, and it just cracked it like that. So my whole arm is just dropping and cramping up. So I can't keep my guard up. And the coach was like, Sam, if you put your guard down, I'm going to make you do 20 burpees. I'm just like, I can't fucking keep my guard up. So I'm there like trying to hold my hand up like this. I'm literally like cuddling my hand to my face, and he's just banging me. Oh my God, it was horror. And then to make it worse, there's we've got a young lad in our team who is basically like, he's a Thai boxing prodigy. I don't think he knows it yet. This guy is gifted. He's like 15, and he usually like, I'm usually more careful with him because he's a lot lighter. Like, Brian's like 50 something kg. I'm 113. There's a definite size difference. I've got to be a lot more careful with him. Brian did this move on me where he jabbed me, punched me with a straight, and kicked me in the same second. It was a cartwheel of slaps. It was a bang, bang, bang. And then the worst part is the coach saw that. I was like, I just knew. I was like, shut up. You shut up. You do not say anything about what has happened. Let's put it this way. Brain caught over a kick that was so good, it made my nose bleed. My whole return back to Thai boxing was
it's a basketball all over again.
It's a basketball all over again. And I literally, at that point, the round ended. The coach wiped my nose and was just like, you're doing well, son. I was like, no one fucking, what are you on about? I have literally been beaten up from ring to ring. Every ring I've been in today, I've been fucked up. And he basically sat there and he brought it back to reality. Not that the message hit home until last night, but he brought it back to reality. He was just like, what you think of when you think you're giving up compared to what I see are completely different things. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, Sam, I know that all of their fit, because he put me in with the fighting team, the team that's prepping for a fight. There's like different hearts. There's a room of people that are there for fitness, and there's a room of people who are prepping to, like, they've got championship fights coming up. And so far, he's been letting me train the championships a lot, because it's good for my fitness, it's good for my health, good for my mentality. I like the challenge. So he was like, their fitness is going to be better than yours. They are, in all intents and purposes, better than you at this. And you are getting better and better. You're getting closer to their level each day. He's basically saying. And he basically was just like, and I was like, yeah, but I'm just getting fucked up. And he's like, no. You think you're getting fucked up. I'm seeing you getting better and better compared to the day before. you're not recognizing it because you're just living in the now of getting fucked up. And I nearly quit. I literally, he even called me after. It was like, the stage you're at right now, it's the stage people get to before they usually give up. He's like, this is the point where you feel like you keep coming in, you're tired, your muscles are aching, and you feel like you want to give up. He's like, this is the stage where you push yourself past your limits. And in my head, I'm listening to this call and I'm just like, I'm lucky I'm not crashing my car right now. I literally feel sleepy. I've been hit so hard today. I blink and it feels like it's lasted 2 more seconds than it should have. So I came home. I did one uncomfortable thing. I got myself in a nice bath. And today I genuinely feel like a better person. Today I feel like I'm back again. And he wasn't wrong. I think I just needed to push myself past that limit of discomfort.
Yeah.
To realize I don't need to quit.
Yeah, it's a threshold for sure, dude. And it's like, but the thing is, the reason why you didn't get out the ring is because you know, like, the rewards are worth it in the end.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think that's the main thing. Like, it's why I said, like, why I decided to not do Great North Run is because the reward of doing the run wasn't worth it in the end, because I've already done much more than that. And actually going back to the gym and, like, you know, I feel a lot better for it. Like, my routine's a lot better. I'm able to actually have more structure in my life about it. And it's why I haven't quit swimming. Like, even though after that horrific first session, it's now actually something which I'm actually all right at now. Like, swam in open water in the sea on holiday. You know, I swam.
Nice.
I could definitely swim more than 50 meters in one go now as well.
Oh, that's
so. Yeah, so I swam like the whole length of, like, the swim ups.
Have you been doing swimming
lessons?
You said you were doing
still doing swimming lessons. I keep on forgetting to go to the lessons because they are super early, but I am going this Friday. But I have just been going and booking those sessions for myself. But the thing is, because I now know the goal is to eventually, you know, be able to do an Ironman. That's like why I can't quit. But it's what you said as well. It definitely keeps me. I definitely have it in the back of my head, because there's so many times where it's like, oh, you're right there. But if you quit right now, you don't know how close you are.
Exactly.
And it's like, it's why you have to do every single job application. Because my mum always says to me, like, when I bitch to my mum about shit that goes on, like, particularly with work and how I think I'm undervalued and things like that, my mum always says to me, well, you know, job market shit. My mum always goes like, what's the alternative? Because if you don't do anything, you're going to be here. You're going to be where you are. So you have to keep going. Because even if it goes from 0%, it goes actually 0% when you stop trying. When you try, it could be 1, it could be 50% chance. So you don't know how long you're going to be here for. So you might as well just try. But it's exhausting.
Isn't it, like, so demoralizing when, like, you shape an argument so strong in your head? You shape an argument so clearly in your head of, like, it's crap. I hate the experience. I should quit. Quitting is the only way to do it. And then you have a conversation with someone you trust, and then they basically open like 12 different other opportunities to you of, like, different ways of thoughts. And then you're sat there looking like, what dumbass, Sam? Why did you think that? You're such an idiot. Like, you end up feeling like you're so stupid for processing life in that way. And there's so many times I've, like, booked a meeting with a manager to complain about something. And then I leave the meeting thinking, yeah, why was I going to complain again? What the fuck was I actually on about?
Yeah.
So many times.
I'm definitely in that. I'm not there yet. I'm definitely, whenever I'm out of this, I don't know when it's going to be. I know I will look back and all of a sudden, it's like when you get all the answers to an exam, be like, oh yeah, I could have done that. I could have done this. And I spent so much time being pissed off. But it's like, I don't know when I'm going to be out of it. But when I will, it's going to be the best feeling in the world. And I feel like that's, when I am out of my head and I've calmed my thoughts a bit, I was speaking to someone at work and she was just like, you need to calm your brain because you need to just, like, get through this period that you're in. But I visualize what it's going to be like when I'm finally out of this, and it's genuinely going to be like end credits. Like, it's going to be so sweet, and I'm going to book myself a holiday with Rosie. Obviously, she's going to be like, without me. It's with you, Rosie. Okay, calm down.
I'm booking myself a holiday, Sarah. Me, myself, and I. Enjoy being at home with the cats.
I don't know, dude. Like, I think we should talk about. I know we've talked about quitting, but I think I think it's good to land on when not to quit and when to keep pushing the needle. Because one thing that I found about myself is like, I know I'm not like I'm not a master. I'm not like really, really good at anything. And I think that's a good thing.
Interesting mindset to have.
No, because what I'm really, really good at instead is I'm really good at persevering. I'm really good at not quitting. Like I might not be the best marathon runner, right? But if I say I'm doing a marathon, I can be a head and a spine and I'll do the marathon. My main skill is just trying. I am the best trier that I know, 100%. Because if I know, oh yeah, I want to do this, I will figure out a way of doing it and I will try. Like me doing the marathon when I was like, massive, I will still find a way to do it because like I definitely won't quit, because I don't know if it's because I'm really good at trying or it's ego. Either way, for me, it works. Yeah. So it'll be really, really easy for me just to accept like I'm stuck where I am, but I'm still going to keep applying for jobs. It could be 10,000 jobs. I'm still going to keep applying because I still want to quit. Because quit that. Well, not quit that, but yeah, just like change roles and stuff like that. So, and the thing is, the reason why with editing, I know it's what I want to do, because I have the mindset of, will I take 20 years of my life just to be good at it? And the answer is yes. So I feel like I'm good now, but the thing is, every single year I go back and look at what I edit, I'll be like, oh, I would change that. Or I'll change this. This means I'm getting better. Yeah. So one thing I don't get is complacent. So but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
no,
I know I'm not.
You're making a fair point around why. Well, I know you said you wanted to make a point about why not to quit. You made a fair point about how hard you process life before you get to the decision of quitting. And if anything, it emphasizes more for your character, especially, why quitting is such a big deal. Because if you are quitting, that's a lot of effort that's gone into processing why not to quit before you actually go ahead and quit.
100%.
And that's the behavior that it's almost like, if I'm reading what you're saying properly, I was trying to find it if there was a book. That's one of my smiles. I was trying to see if there's a book that I was trying to remember a book, but I couldn't find it. But basically, what you're saying is almost like, if you are going to quit, really, really process why you shouldn't do it. And if you can't find a reason not to do it, then don't. That's when it's like, okay, you don't quit, right? Sorry, what was I saying? If you can't find a reason to quit after you've been processing very hard, like actually quit, then it means you should stay. I think it does get to a point where, I mean, common sense dictates, like,
absolutely, yeah, common sense make it really easy. But I think this is good for like difficult decisions. But like, I think this works for a lot. This works for life circumstances like this quitting framework. Like, you could apply this to your relationship, right? If your relationship really sucks at the moment, should you quit? Probably not.
No,
not if it's like the first time. If you've been sucking for 5 years and you think it's impossible for it to be better, to make it not suck, then you should probably quit the relationship. But if it's like the first time you had a disagreement and you go, well, clearly we don't agree on everything, therefore we're not compatible, which is a lot of people's mentality, unfortunately. But if it's you work at it, right? Because it is work, but it's work that you want to do, which is.
Of course, I have also been in positions where I have been the one to want to keep it going. And it was very evident the other person was just stringing me along because they didn't want to hurt my feelings. I think I've been in that position before. And there are times where I know we're trying to get in the mindset of, okay, we've been talking enough about quitting. I think the process of deciding whether or not to quit is one of the most important things to get good at.
Yes.
Because it's effectively the process of using the limited time you have on this planet wisely.
Absolutely.
You only have so many years. And there's this theory that, okay, the person that's going to live forever has already been born. That doesn't mean that person is you. It'd be nice if it is, but that doesn't mean that person is you. You still need to treat life like it's finite, and you need to use your time wisely on this earth. You need to be able to make the right decisions to benefit the experiences that you want to end at. Whether you want to die rich, whether you want to die poor, whether you want to die in your own private, wherever that goal is, you need to be able to at some point have a good idea of what it is, and you need to be able to make decisions based on that goal. Effectively, what I'm saying is people need to get better at being selfish and make wise decisions that support that dream that they have for themselves.
That's absolutely.
And you're right in terms of not quitting, but I think not quitting in terms of don't give up because it's hard. Stop doing it if it doesn't help towards your plan in the future. If it's clear enough that it wouldn't help, stop giving it excuses as to why it's okay to keep doing it. But in most cases, unfortunately, people that listen to this advice more often than not are people that just like quitting stuff. They give up as soon as life gets hard. And that's unfortunately the cohort that are going to listen to what we said and go, oh, that's multiple reasons why I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And they're going to walk away. And that's not what we're saying.
It's true, dude.
But I really want you to listen to us very carefully when we say reasons why you shouldn't quit. Really deep it. Don't just see it as a way out because you're already in the mindset of quitting. Probably why you've even clicked on this episode, because you're already pissed off about something you want to quit. Really deep why you want to quit. Really deep. Where does it set you back in your plan towards success? Does it push you forwards in your plan towards success? If it does, how does it fit in that plan? How does quitting and resetting help you move closer to the goal that you have in mind for yourself? If you don't have a goal in mind for yourself, why are you quitting? Are you quitting because it makes your life easier? If so, I genuinely suggest you don't, especially when you're quitting a job that's probably your only source of income because it's hard, and someone says, oh, you should have a good life, you should have a good life balance, you should have a healthy work-life balance. That's not a reason to quit. A reason to quit is you need that healthy work-life balance for something else that you do outside of work. If you have a family to care for, if you have kids, if you need to be a positive role model and your work is creating a negative experience for you, that's the reason you need a healthy work-life balance for. No one needs a healthy work-life balance so they have more hours to play Xbox.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No one does.
Yeah. It's true. It's like, I'm in it now. It's like, when you're going through difficult times at work, like it can affect how you interact with other people as well. Particularly like for you, Sam, like obviously, you live with your fiance. For me, it would be like, Rosie might like call me in the middle of like editing after work when I've had a rough day, and I'll be like, in the mood, but sometimes I won't communicate that. She'll be like, and then 2 days later, she'll be like, you were off the other day. And I was like, yeah, sorry. But like, I'm now really good at like foreseeing what my mood is potentially going to be like. So, and the thing is, that's a conversation that shouldn't be happening. And I'm fully aware of that. And that's for me to manage and escape. But yeah, I think it's important when you think about quitting, you got to think, just because when you're on the up, you don't think about the down that will come, because that is genuinely life. Whenever I've had like those highs of life, I'm now like, okay, I'm now very like, I'm not exactly pessimistic about it, but I'm just very stoic about it, because, enjoy it whilst you're there, like appreciate what you've done, but at the same time, like the job's not finished and you are going to face new problems. You don't get, you just get better problems to deal with. This is what Mark Manson was saying in, what's the book called? Start Love, Not Giving a Fuck. You just get improved problems. Like, when our problem is, oh no, my Lambo crashed. You have a Lambo to crash. And like it's like when saying like, oh, Kanye West lost 400 million. He had 400 million to lose. Do you see what I mean? Like, you get improved problems. You're always going to have problems, because a life without problems is a life that is meaningless. They're always going to have problems, bro.
These are 400 million is long, though.
That is long.
Day.
However, it's a flex having 400 million to lose and then still having $1 billion. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to say, what was left over? Because if all I had was the 400 million...
Actually, I actually need to quickly amend that. I think he lost like $1 billion and is worth 400 million, but he's still worth 400 million. It was something like that. But
I'm not gonna lie,
it's a flex to be able to have that to lose and still be up.
If I lost all of that, though, I promise you, I'm not turning up for a podcast episode. If I lost everything like that, I promise you, I'm gonna need Xbox time. I'm quitting to play Xbox. Like, I'm giving up on life.
But like, it's true. Like, you know, I think this pod is actually a good example as well, because, you know, we had remember we had the first episode, and during the highs of the launch, everything like that, it's great, getting loads of likes on Instagram. And you were very much like, you went out celebrating, having dinner, things like that. And I was like, Fab, the next episode is going down in viewership.
Yeah.
And it did.
It did.
And it did.
It did.
And
we're coming back, though. The tide is rising.
We will, but you know what? It's fine. We're coming
back. No, I'm looking at the analytics. We're coming back. The tide is rising.
We're gonna pivot. And the thing is, like, I'll be honest with you, Sam. There are days where, you know, when it's tough at work and I'm like, Lewis, remember you have to do a podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I have to do a podcast. And there are days where I'm like, we're recording today. Not because it's you, but
it's just
because it's work. And sometimes I can't be asked, but I'm doing it anyway because I believe in what we're doing. And the rewards are worth the work.
Let me be selfish and paint my perspective, my day in the life to you. Monday morning, coursework, business work, finish work, Thai boxing training. Tuesday morning, coursework, business work, podcast meeting, and then maybe a bit more coursework. Wednesday, coursework, business work, Thai boxing training. Thursday, coursework, business work, record for an hour, brain is frazzled, sit down, do nothing. Friday, coursework, business work, Thai boxing training. Saturday, Thai boxing training, sulk for the rest of the day because I'm in pain. Sunday, nothing else done. Monday, we go again. Okay. You think this is hard? Me doing fuck all is still painful. Okay. Like, we will find a way past this. And do you know why I do what I do and why I believe in what we do? Why I still turn up for every episode and why I feel like you still turn up for every episode? Because we get to have, it's almost like a Dear Diary entry. We get to look back in 4 years' time where we're sat on a nice car. When I'm just like, Lewis, on the red light we go. On the red light we go. And like, when we race each other on our private road for banter, when we're there on a track day, when our mates go play golf and we're like, no, we've got a track day today. Sorry guys, I'm doing this
for the montages.
Yeah, like we guys. Sorry. I know you guys want to go to Riley's today, but me and Lewis have to go and race our Lamborghinis in circles for a bit. We'll talk to you later. Like, when we have that moment, and we will, because I've had similar moments recently, we can look back to these moments where we've had to struggle and we can laugh. And all the moments where people will be like, how's your little podcast going? We can look back and be like, how's that job going? How's that life going? Like, and there's been moments like that. Like, when I've sat there and I've been having a really crappy day and I'm like, I remember when I used to just be a production specialist and I felt like people were talking down to me. Or I remember when I used to just be a bartender and I felt like people were being cracked towards me. People were a bit, like, I remember once I had such a bad time at work and the manager's response was like, after treating me like crap, the response was, well, if you don't like it, quit. And you know what the best thing was? I already had another job lined up. And I was like, fine, I will. Literally turned up the next day, it's like, I've got another job lined up. What do you want me to do? Like, I remember looking back to those moments, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm sat at my BMW pressing buttons, and I'm just like, I just start laughing to myself. I'm just like, that's fucking.
You bathe with laugh to yourself.
From the chest, from the depth of my soul, I'm just like, God damn, it really did come to pass. That's actually crazy.
No, it's true.
Like, you get to laugh, look back and laugh. I know how satisfying it will be.
I'm looking forward to that laugh when I leave this place because it is going to be glorious. I'm going to turn into a villain. I'm just gonna point and laugh at.
I promise you. I'm going
to be unbearable. I'm going to be unbearable.
I promise you. I
don't care. But
I remember when I was leaving uni days, and before I used to have days like this when I worked at uni days, where I was like, I can't be arsed. Like, I can't wait to quit. Like, I'm so tired of this place. And I remember I was talking to my mates. It's like, the day I leave, the way I'm gonna just key my way out of here, the way I'm gonna burn bridges. As you're in the space of leaving, as you're in the space of quitting, unless you've had a very, very shit experience, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had a few in many jobs I've had. But unless you're literally like, I don't even know how bad it has to be, unless it's the worst of the worst, you always go through a period of gratitude for those that you're leaving behind and those that you're close to. Because it's almost like it's like you start mourning the end of a really good relationship that just has to end because life has just put you both in that position.
Yeah.
That you have to say goodbye to each other. And you end up being more grateful. You start to realize that you've had a lot of positive experience to be grateful for. And every job I've hated, every team I've hated because I hate the work that I've come to leave, is the people that I cared about the most in that team, or the relationships I had, like the people that made it bearable, that I start to dwell on. And it starts to be like, oh, I'm gonna miss you guys. Now every now and then I have a chat with someone that used to work with you days. I'm just like, ha, it's still there. But like when I was leaving, it was really hard. It was really hard because I knew that, and I wasn't able to be as aggressive as I hoped to be, of being like, drop the mic, I'm out. Like, oh, you didn't appreciate me enough, drop the mic. I wasn't able to do any of that because when I look back at it, I was just like, nah, the people that mattered did appreciate me enough. The people that mattered to me did. And because of that, I get to leave peacefully. And I bet you'd be in the same position. So say all this stuff now, but when you leave,
okay,
you're going to be very grateful.
I'll tell you what, when I left Spotify, I was not grateful to anybody. I was grateful for the experience that it taught me.
Yeah.
And that I am grateful for. When I look back on that experience at Spotify, I am grateful for having gone through that experience there. Yeah, when I look back at work, I mean, like, the first two, I look, probably because of where I'm at now, I look back at the first two jobs more fondly, just because I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
But, like I said, it's going to be, the victory and the win will be sweet, for sure. And I hope that, I look forward to the point when I can reflect on these past few years and be like, oh, this was preparing me to deal with this situation. Yeah. And that is what I have to keep gaslighting myself to believe. Because I have to believe that this is happening for a reason. But the thing is, what I find is that this job is definitely just adding onto the resilience, and it's also just making way more clear that I need to be doing my own thing, and that has actually happened as a result of my experiences at work. Because if I was just like la-di-da, happy corporate Lou, like, I never would have started a business. I wouldn't be doing this pod. I'd be, sweating for companies. But I just know I can't do that. Like, it's just not. Yeah. I wish I actually. It sounds like such a douchey thing to say. Like, I wish I was able to just love a 9 to 6 and just love, going into the office and doing that sort of stuff, because it looks nice and it looks so much less stressful. And I know it sounds like a dick to say, be like, God, I wish I could just be like you, but I'm me. But it's true.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. And yeah, it's just become very clear to me over the past few years that I need to be doing the editing. I need to be working my own stuff, because that's the only way that I'm going to be happy on a day-to-day basis. It's not even, like I said this in the previous episode, I don't even think about when we get our cool cars and amazing houses. I know you might think about that more so than me. But for me, it's just actually just waking up and enjoying what I'm doing to earn money. That's actually the goal at the moment. It's the sustainable model.
I just want to be free, dude.
Yeah.
I just want to be my sense of success is the freedom of choice when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's knowing that I can't ever see myself, and Sarah said this to me once. She's like, I can't ever see yourself not working.
Oh no, dude, you're always working.
I'll always be working.
Even if it's just always the pod, we'll have the pod. Yeah, and that's our retirement. That's our retirement money.
This is my retirement. Yeah, like I'll be there, like one eye still working, and like if I have to, I'll make the assistant. I'll still be doing
Fury, but Fury eye patch.
But I can't ever see myself not working. But the one thing that I really want, and God, Lewis, I want this so bad from life. This is why I do what I do. I want to be able to wake up and know that I have my pick of what to do that day. I have full freedom. If I want to go for a walk in France, I will do that afternoon. If I want to go and chill on an island somewhere, I can do that. If I want to go to Vegas this weekend, gang, like fuck it. If I want to go to Vegas tonight, if I want to get on a plane right now, I want to be in that position in life where I can do that, because I just want a future where I can empower my ADHD to be its full self. I want to be full ADHD mode of like just side quests. I want to be Snoop Dogg level. What are you doing in the Olympics?
I think your genuine role model is Snoop Dogg.
It's Snoop Dogg. It really is.
Because the amount of times you have said Snoop Dogg in this podcast is
I'm not gonna lie, he is my hero. I want to when I grow up, I want to be like Snoop Dogg. I just want side quests. I want people to see me and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'll be like, "Doing my job. This is my job." Like that's all I want. And why I pick up so many tasks, why I pick up so many skills is that is in my head the only way I can achieve that goal is becoming a jack of all trade and a master of as much as possible. Because a future where I can do anything I want requires me to be good at doing anything I want to be able to do. And that's why I pick up all of these things. And in many ways, I'm kind of living that life I want within my means of like, if I want to go out and go for a run, I'll do that. If I wanted to go visit my cousin in France, like tomorrow night, I would have to quit work. But I could technically put my money aside and just book a Eurostar trip to do that. Like, it's all within my means, and I'm happy that I have those options. The one constraint is I work for someone.
Yeah.
So my head is like, I want that future where that dependency is gone and I can just make that choice for myself. And so I think that's what I'm working towards.
So to wrap up, I want to ask you this, because this is probably a question.
And I have a question to wrap up as well for you.
I think it's probably going to be the question I ask you. Okay, what's it going to take you to quit your job?
Oh, that's not the same question I was going to ask you. No. What's it going to take me to quit my job? It's
like, what's the number? It's probably a number, right?
Oh, yes. I don't know. People don't want to know the number.
I'll bleep it out. Tell me the number.
Okay, I'll tell you the number. The number for me to quit my job right now, and the number for me to like stop everything I'm doing right now.
That's the same as me.
Is it actually?
Yeah, that is my number. Genuinely, that's my number.
No joke. If your brother turned up and went this, I promise you, I'll throw my work laptop in the bin.
No. If I got that right now, I wouldn't even.
I'd be like,
I wouldn't even send.
I'm not working my notice. Like, I hear you. I hate it in contract. Because indentured servitude is illegal, so I'm not.
Yeah, because that gives me enough space to bet on myself.
Yeah,
and for me, that would be going and doing assistant editing jobs and things like that, because all that sort of stuff is just going to be skills to learn for my company. That's the plan.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the number. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably some days it could be half the number. In fact, it might be.
I'm gonna ask you my question.
Go on.
So because we didn't do as much talking about what our week's been, but I think we've touched on it throughout this episode, to be honest. One thing I want to ask this every now and then. I wanted to ask this on the first episode, but I didn't.
Cool.
I wanted to ask
18 weeks.
Episode.
Okay.
No, because I forgot. I genuinely forgot, and then I only just remembered this moment where we were talking about like what we want to do in our lives.
Say it now because you'll forget.
By episode 100.
Okay.
What would you like to tell your episode 100, Lewis? And what would you like for episode 100, Lewis, to have achieved? So I want to watch this back. So you need to make a pin in next episode 100.
Okay, ask me the question again. What do I want to say to episode 100, Lewis?
So you're speaking to episode 100, Lewis, right now.
Okay.
What do you hope he's achieved, and where do you hope he's at in life right now?
Episode 100, Lewis, is in 2 years' time, just under 2 years' time. So how old will it be? I'll just be over 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna think for a moment, because this is actually kind of mad. First of all, I hope I am engaged or going to propose soon. First of all, genuinely, dude, I just hope I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and it's editing. I better not be at this job. I think I'll probably still be in London. Yeah, because you've got no podcast.
That's like, who's gonna edit this topic?
No, I hope we got a decent. I hope we have a decent following by this point. I hope we've had a good few guests. There's a few people who I would like to be on. I hope we're doing this in person for sure.
Yeah.
By that point, want my brother to be on the pod at some point. There's a few people who I think would be decent. I hope I'm still in shape as well. I hope I'm in better shape than I am now. I think as well. You're probably gonna have a kid by then.
No,
maybe
2 years is too soon.
2 years? No, close to be. Okay. Well, I hope. You know what? I just, editing's a given. Like, I hope I'm doing like films where I hope I'm happy and I'm just editing and like enjoying what I like, and I have like a massive like desk setup and I got hell of screens and shit. I'm hoping traveling more. I'm hoping taking week vacations. I hope my family's healthy and doing well. But I hope I'm happy, man. I just want to be happy doing what I'm doing. That is honestly just the goal. It's not like me just going off into sunset with loads of cars and stuff. I just genuinely want to be like, God, I get to wake up and do this. I really hope that's at the point. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I could just fit episode 100 is like you become a boss and you realise it's way hard. It's way more annoying. And you're just pissed off. The whole episode you're pissed off, and then we get to this point where we play this clip and you're just like, for fuck's sake, shit. It's all
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I hope my problems at episode 100 are better than the problems I have now.
That's nice. Alright, come.
Richer problems.
Sprinkles.
Richer problems.
Let me see.
Yeah, but same for you, Sam. I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay, there's a few things, and I really enjoyed how you didn't just go into fantasy land. You did focus on realism, and you factored into what would I achieve within 2 years. By episode 100, I should be married. I hope I'm not divorced. Honestly, I hope that episode 100, if Sarah is pregnant, I hope that I have the capacity to support her to the best I can, because I'm growing my future prodigy. She's growing my prodigy. I helped. She's growing my prodigy. I hope that if I do have a child by then, I hope that I'm able to achieve my dream by making it my core focus and being able to basically put my hyper focus into this one human being, or these two, well, however human beings there are, however many there are of these kids. I hope I'm able to hyper focus on them massively and give them all the attention and love, care they deserve. I hope that episode 100 Sam is watching this right now, basically saying that this episode could have gone a lot better, and it's because we're just so much better at presenting. I hope that he's looking at this right now thinking, damn, those problems were so trivial compared to bigger deals. Right now.
Your BMW is whack.
BMW's crap. Fuel up the G-Wagon. Let's go. I hope, for one thing, I hope that we've got, I hope that I'm in a position where I feel empowered to be creative and to own my own destiny. I think last but not least, they're all very like arbitrary, because I'm trying to speak vaguely here. I do simply hope that Anxious Extrovert and any other businesses, opportunities I'm doing well are in the SME stage. At that point, in terms
we've got to have an evolved bank account by this point.
Yeah. If we're not limited,
we need to quit
with a bank account by then. Like, what the fuck?
We need to quit.
Like, but in general, I hope that Anxious Extrovert, especially, and any other business I'm working on, is like SME stage with investors already lined up and engaged with us. And to do that, obviously, I'm saying that I'm hoping I'm in that position to either be thinking about leaving, or I've already left, working for someone else. And
yeah,
I'm fully in this entrepreneurship bag.
Absolutely, dude. I like your point about if you have a kid and being able to give it attention, because one of the things which I always think about, and I spoke to my dad about this, is like when you have a child, when I have a child, it's like being able to actually spend time with the child and like bond with the child, because we only get 2 weeks of leave. And
You do. I get 6. But
I would like, well, it is a UK standard.
all right, yeah.
Either way, 6 is not good.
It's crap.
It's still shit.
crap.
All right. Okay. Cool.
It's pretty crap.
But like, one of the things, because I want to make sure I'm really present in my children's lives early on, and that's something which I always do think about in terms of like work, because I want to be able to be like, okay, you know what, I'm not working this year, or I'm in a position where the reason why editing I think works is because of the lifestyle I want as well. Because if I could just edit at home, I can actually be present for my future children, and that's one thing that I want to be fully implemented before having kids, is actually like I can actually be at home. Because one of the things which was the case, like as it was the case for most people growing up, is like your mum would be sort of like building the house, or even if they were working, they'll still be like part-time working, or like come home earlier for the kids. And my dad was always like, you know, leaving work super early, like probably was getting up for school like 7 and then coming back at like 8. And I only really saw my dad like in evenings and weekends, until again my dad decided to change his career after, when I was like 14, and he was able to like work from home. So that was when I actually remember like seeing loads more of my dad, and I actually remember really appreciating it during my teenage years, that my dad was always at home and not always at work. And that's one thing which I really want to give to my future children, is actually being able to have built that career lifestyle in order to spend a lot of time with my kids, particularly when they're early. Because like when your kids like in their teenage years to like an adult, yes, like they're going to change a lot of time, but like not as much as, 0, like 1 month old or 1 day old to 5. Like that goes by very quick. And those years are way more pivotal than later years. So that's one thing which I always think about as well. But for me, that's not 2 years. That's
5.
Later. Maybe 5. Maybe.
Yeah. I can see you achieving that in 5.
5, 6 years.
Yeah.
To kid.
After this, I have something to ask.
You know what? Let's wrap up there.
But
I think that's the next.
Let's wrap up. I hope that why I did that experiment, Lewis, anyways, because I wanted to do one thing that's important to consider before quitting, which is what we mentioned, what the end goal is. I just wanted to cement this end goal, so then we can think about what we've now got to look forward to by episode 100, what we've got to work towards.
That's true.
That's why we do this pod.
Then we'll do it for 200. At 100, we'll do 200.
100, we'll do it for 200, and then we'll just keep going and going. Then we eventually become the richest men in the world, and I'm like, I don't know what we do. Do we go? We go to Mars? What's going on?
We get to the point where we just podcast producers, and we just take their money. Take their money. We just slap them for all it's worth.
Oh my god, that's a side quest journey.
A podcast network. Oh my
god,
that'll be good.
That would actually be sick. That's actually a bang to be fair.
That's actually a sick.
All right,
we're going to talk about that now.
All right, let's talk about that.
Guys, if you love this episode, give it 5 stars, please. Share with your friends. Follow us on TikTok, The Podcast Evolve. Instagram, The Podcast Evolve. www.thepodcastevolve.com. thepodcastevolve@gmail.com. And yeah.
Plug your website. Plug your Xander.
Oh yeah.
Studios, plug that, man.
Shout out to the companies, Anxious Extrovert, Xander Studios, XNDER Studios on Instagram. Website, xanderstudios.com.
Website, anxiousextrovert.co.uk.
Yeah.
Go on there. Sign up. Oh, sign up to Hub. You see a link to it on anxiousextrovert.co.uk. But we've done our revamp. It's kind of in like its mid-revamp stage, but it's getting there. Go ahead and sign up, please, and thank you. Enjoy the content that's already there. There's a lot more to come.
Cool. That's everything, guys. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.
See you. Bye.